Hey YouTube, what's going on? Merry Christmas, everybody. I wanted to give you guys a quick little update here. As you can see, lighting's a little different. I'm crudely testing these very inexpensive LED soft light panels. If you can believe it, the almost 25 years that I've been doing filmmaking, I've never owned lights, like lights for film. I've owned like a couple little, well, I guess that's not entirely true, but I guess like proper, like put them on a sticks. And this is a little Christmas present that I gave myself. So I wanted to test them out. I, I mean, obviously I have one light pointing here and one light pointing here. I'm not doing anything fancy. I just figured it would illuminate things better, but I wanted to give you an update on the CION and let you guys know what's going on with that, the update, everything. You can see once again the monitoring situation has changed, and I just realized since I started using the CION more, kind of in depth, since I can monitor the gamma curves correctly now, that the camera's really not like, you need an EVF for this body design. Otherwise, you're constantly holding the camera like this. And if you want to ergonomically like put it on your shoulder like it was made to do, you need an EVF. I mean, I guess you could get an LCD like mount that could put the monitor like right here, but I don't know. I figured the EVF would be good, and so I got a used Zacuto Gradical HD EVF. It's been around for 6 or 7 years, something like that. I love Zacuto. I might be a little biased about it, considering that Zacuto is a Chicago company, and I am acquaintances with Steve Weiss, who's the founder of Zacuto. I actually, about 13 years ago, almost got a job at Zacuto when I was still living in Chicago, putting together their working in their warehouse to put together their accessory pieces that would then get bagged and shipped. And I was offered that job, didn't end up doing that job. So, but I think Zacuto makes really, really great products. No one's paying me to say that or anything. I feel like that's like the YouTube thing, that when you start boasting about a company like that, you need to make it known, like, are you being sponsored? No, I've never been sponsored in my life. So just giving you guys my opinion. Zacuto makes great stuff. This OLED EVF is fantastic. It works great with the CION. So this is it. And the other new piece here, I changed out, I had another follow focus unit that I had to put on, because the interesting thing is, one of the bigger changes is it's sitting on a new base plate. So this is a dovetail system that was made, is it by Small Rig? No, by Pro Aim. Works really great with the CION, but the interesting thing is that these are 15 millimeter rails, as you can see, but they're spaced out as if they were 19 millimeter. So I couldn't use the follow focus that I had on here because it was spaced for 15, and same goes for the bracket that was holding my wooden hand grip, which I did have down here for a minute, but I think the last time I spoke to you guys it was up here. But for whatever reason, even though like there's airy rosette mounts built into the camera body, this is just a really high point of contact. So hopefully I can rectify that here kind of soon. But I mean, it's not make or break. You can still use it. And then I'm now feeding the Gradical, instead of HDMI, I'm using HDSDI, which is obviously a superior connection. At least I think it is. So I've done a lot of tests, 2 of which you guys have seen. I've put 2 tests up, one interior, one exterior, very quick stuff where I'm just getting shots and grading them and working with the dynamic range. And I can tell you that very quickly I'm learning that the biggest downside to this camera is it is terrible in low light. It is not good. It's I wouldn't even say in terms of low light that it is on par with an F900 or a Varicam. It's close, But this camera it needs a lot of light in order to get a really good image. And if you boost the ISO up, or the ASA, whatever you want to call it, beyond 800, you can go 320, 500, 800, 1000. 320 to 800 is usable. 1000 is usable as long as you have enough light, which kind of defeats the purpose of using 1000. So if you're in really kind of a low light situation and you bump it up to 1000, the shadow areas of the sensor pulsate, which is really weird. So the best thing to do, since you have a codec in there that can really get beaten up and pushed around, is if you're in a low light situation, you can get all that information out of the shadows later, and it does seem to work fairly well. So it's not a huge make or break, but this camera is definitely, especially in modern times, it's not a low light camera at all. It basically is like having a camera that has 320 and 800 film stock in it, and you can pull and push it the same you would as film. So you can work within the limitations of that, then you're good. But in terms of image quality of this camera, I can tell you, bar none, that this thing absolutely, without question, and I apologize, my rabbit Steely Dan decided to say Merry Christmas to you too. I don't know if you can hear him. He's biting on his cage. He's begging for treats. But this camera is the closest thing that I have seen to film of any of the cameras that I've owned, and it is the closest thing that I've seen to the Alexa. Absolutely. If you light it correctly and you expose it correctly, the dynamic range is fantastic. The 12 stops is beautiful. The color science is great, as I mentioned in my last couple of vlogs, but this camera is definitely an underrated gem. And I think once you get past the hurdles of its workflow, which, yeah, it took me about a month to figure it out, but now that I have gotten that figured out and I've got all of the kinks worked out in the workflow and I can use it like any other camera now, I can't recommend this thing enough. This thing is a lot of fun. It feels correct when you handhold it. Better than even the ENG cameras that I've had in my lifetime, like the VariCam and the F900 and all of those. I mean, this thing, honestly, I don't really have much to gripe about it at this point. Now that I've worked out all the kinks and everything, it really is a fantastic camera, and I really would recommend it to you guys. Sorry, my Christmas Eve was spent cleaning my entire house. I have my parents coming over. Nick's flying back from Chicago tomorrow. So I spent the whole day just cleaning my house and sanitizing everything and cleaning the rabbit cages. And I had a little issue with the fish tank today, and so I had to clean that. And so now I'm like checking to make sure it looks like the fish Bruce is doing good. I don't know. That's the other thing. I'm sure you guys saw it in one of my tests. Nick and I got a fish. We have a little betta fish in our living room now. We named him Bruce Gillis. So continuing the pop culture references of our pets. But he's really, really cool. I was feeding him some stuff and a little too much food got into his tank. And if any of you know anything about aquatic animals, is you can't have a lot of food in there because it can ruin the water, which they live in. So I had to transfer him, clean the tank, put it back. And it's the first time I ever did that. I'm still learning aquatics. It's like learning how I started with rabbits 8 years ago. Like, I feel like I'm just learning an animal all over again, which I am. And so just making sure he's okay. But he's swimming around. He's doing good. So, so that is, that's my update. Hopefully I'll have, an actual piece done on the CION here. I'm also really interested, excited to use these lights. I know I have them set up very poorly where they're just lighting both sides of my face, but it's pretty cool. They have, I don't know if I can bring one over here, but if you can see it, it's just this little LED panel and it's on sticks. And the remote, there's a little remote on the cable that is a part of it, and you can change the light intensity, which is pretty neat. So actually, it'd probably be better if I dropped these down while I was talking to you. Even though I'm wrapping this up right now, I should have done this in the beginning. But yeah, they're pretty neat, pretty cool. So that's all I got for you guys. So those of you that are celebrating Christmas tomorrow, Merry Christmas to you and your family. And I hope you guys have a great day and have a lot of good food, get some good presents, watch some good movies. Obviously, it's John Hughes season, so anything Home Alone, Miracle on 34th Street remake. What else did he do? Christmas Vacation, which is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. I will be watching Christmas Vacation tomorrow with my family. So, yeah, you guys have a good holiday, and I will talk to you sometime between tomorrow and New Year's, hopefully. All right, you guys take care. Merry Christmas.